Hi, Barb here from Colorado. Today we're going to be working on quads and heart openers. So make sure you have 2 or 3 blankets, 2 blocks at least, and either a towel or another mat that you can roll up. A blanket will work also. We're going to start today in Virasana. So using whatever modifications work for you, whether the block's on high, low, or if your hips comfortably come between your heels. Beginning to take your seat. Knees are about hips width apart. And then, if need be, come forward and try to flatten your calves so that when you push into the tops of your feet, you can push equally into the big toe and the baby toe across the top. As you begin to settle into place, letting your body settle into its seat, into its physical spot. Find length through your spine. Bring your shoulder blades to rest on your back and hands to rest palms up on your thighs. Eyes can be closed or softly gazing towards the earth. And take several rounds of breath to let your body settle into the physical shape. Allow your mind to calm and come to your mat and to your practice. And bring your attention also to your breath, allowing it to lengthen. Extending your exhales. Lengthening your inhales. Finding that soft rhythmic breath. With your next exhale, hands to heart center. Bowing chin to chest. Take a moment to set an intention. Setting an intention for your practice. And also to send out to the world. Releasing your palms to your thighs, lifting your chin, slowly opening your eyes. Coming to down dog. Maybe your feet are a little wider apart in this version. Walking your legs, bending one side then the other, taking whatever movements feel right for you. And as you settle into your pose, push Your hands push the earth away as your fingers claw at the mat, lengthening your spine, lifting your hips, and lengthen from your hips to your heels. Walking your hands and your feet towards each other. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Yogi's choice and placement of your hands. Content your fingers. And come more forward onto your feet. A deeper stretch. If you're ready, bringing your hands to clasp opposite elbows like a ragdoll. Walking your hands forward, feet back, coming back to your down dog, and dropping to your knees. Coming to one of my favorite poses. You're going to take your first block and set it this direction. Second block is going to go this direction. So they're going to end up looking like a T. Now, if this just does not work for you, you can use 2 blankets. One blanket again, and blanket going over to make the T. We're going to sit, aligning our hips to the blocks, pushing down into your hands, opening that heart, and then setting your thoracic spine onto the blocks. Take a moment to adjust. You never seem to end up in the right place the first time. And settling your legs, coming straight onto the mat. That big heart opener. Bringing your hands into a cactus shape like a Joshua tree. Backs of your palms are floating above the earth. Opening across the chest, into the armpits. Your exhale, bring your upper arms alongside your rib cage. Arms still bent, facing out at a 90-degree angle. Inhale back to that Joshua tree shape. And as you exhale, reach your arms up overhead. Arms straightening, biceps to hug ears. Hovering here. Moving your palms to face the ceiling. And to face each other. And even to begin to face towards the earth. Moving your hands through those movements, wherever feels interesting to you. Taking a moment or two to sit there. Coming back through Joshua Tree arms if that feels good, and bringing your upper arms alongside your torso. Taking free range of movement for a few moments. And finding that arm position that speaks to you. Feels like you're getting the most opening for the position. The big bang for the buck. Bringing your hands back through those cactus arms and releasing the backs of your palms down to the earth. Bringing your palms face down, using your forearms to help you sit up. Coming to sit. I like just bending my knees and draping my torso. Send the blocks aside for just a moment. And we're going to come back to our Virasana. Again, using whatever props may speak to you. This is where I take a blanket and trifold. Has a lot more give. Bringing it through, settling yourself in. And then we're going to take blocks, set one this way, excuse me, and one's going to be set up this way. Not sure how to describe the pose. It's going to be a set of, it's going to look like a T again, but low and then high. Coming into your Virasana and using whatever props speak to you, whatever props your knees and feet require. And coming, using your hands again to lay back. Pulling it into place and draping yourself over. Again, taking a moment to sit up just at that. So the base of that T is going at the base of your shoulders. Now find that length. And when we're sitting in our Virasana to center, we're just subtly pushing into the tops of our feet. Here in this version, we want to push a little more actively. Not 100%, but a little more. Feel that lift. Tuck that tailbone. Let it come back down so with that big heart opener. Taking the bind of your fingers, bringing it back and making a basket for your head. Checking in with the pieces and the parts. The intensity that you're pushing into the tops of your feet. Activating your quads, lifting your hips to allow that ability. Tuck the tailbone, and firming the belly. Bringing your chin to chest, hands onto your side, slowly lifting up, rolling right through into a down dog. Feeling that openness behind your shoulders, your heart, that length in the back of the knees. Stepping your feet forward, step your hands back. Begin to set your accoutrements off to the side. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale to fold in. Again, yogi's choice, the placement of arms. A lot of fine length from the heels to the hips. Hands to hips, pull in the belly and rise up. Stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to heart center. Coming to a Tadasana. Feet maybe closer together or wider apart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to lengthen. Plant your hands, step back, right foot followed by left. And exhale all the way to the mat. Tops of feet to the mat. Inhale to Cobra. Maybe able to go a little deeper today in your Cobra. Exhale, nose to mat, tuck your toes, and find your way to your down dog. Dropping your knees down. Going to settle in. We'll do it sideways and then almost. Going to be here so your knees are just lifted. Keep the balls of your feet on the floor as you walk your hands back and come to sit. Sitting on the balls of your feet. Now if this is too much, please grab your block, grab your blanket to assist, to make some extra space. Setting the timer, we don't want to be here too long. If you're using the block, most times you'll set it up this way to help sit your sits bones out. If you're using the blanket, again, that nice blanket roll that you've created, you can do a half and bring it behind your thighs, between your thighs and your calves. Sitting back, getting that opening in the ball of your foot, adjusting, breathing. You can also just come forwards, take the pressure off, and sit back. Breathing deeply, breathing softly. Come forward, bring your hands down to the earth, tops of your feet to the earth, and sit back. For this next one, there's two ways to do it. If you have an old yoga mat, you can roll it up, which is what I'll be using. Or you can take your blanket. Yeah, this one works better. Take your blanket and just roll part of the blanket, not the whole. So you're going to end up looking like this. And this rolled part, you're going to bring right behind your knees. Now tuck it in as deeply as you can and get it tucked in behind your knees. And then sit back. You're going to feel this mostly in your quads. You may feel it elsewhere. You may need to come forward and adjust. It seems to work well on one side, not the other. And find your spot. Sitting and breathing. thinking about the weather, thinking about the day. Mostly just breathing, trying to find some calm. You know, many of these poses tend to bring up other feelings. Trying to find your happy place, even if it's just for a moment. Coming forward, rolling that blanket or roll back just slightly, finding a new location. Coming forward, setting that aside, and this time coming to Virasana, just to sit. Again, your hips, your knees, and your feet may have stretched your ankles to where you can comfortably sit down between your heels, or maybe a small lift, a blanket is still appropriate. Sitting again, coming back to that push on the feet, that flexion, pushing down into your feet. Give a little more push, so you're actually lifting yourself up without even using your hands, just lifting. If need be, flatten those calves, see if you found a little more space. Keep that pressure at that you're pushing down, but then let your hips settle down into the seat. Breathing. Eyes can be softly closed. Just gazing forward. Coming forward, set your accoutrements aside. And coming up to a down dog. Walking your feet halfway. Hands walk back to me. Inhale and lengthen. And exhale. Folding in. Hands coming to whatever arm placement feels right for you. Hands to hips. Push down into your feet, firmly belly, and rise to stand. How are we doing? Like I said, this is a deep practice, but we're doing it in methodical sections, and hopefully everybody's enjoying. Coming to the top of your mat, coming to Tadasana, palms facing forward, externally rotate those shoulders. Belly firms. With your inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to lengthen. This time step back, left foot followed by right. Top of the plank, inhale here. Exhale all the way to the earth. Tops of feet to the earth. And inhale to cobra. Again, your cobra may be a little deeper today. So we're working on heart openers. Activate those quads. Protect that low back. Exhale, nose to mat. Tuck your toes and push up to plank. Come through table. Find your way to your dog. Walking your feet halfway up, walking your hands back. Exhale and fold one more time. Hands to hips and rise. We're going to do the same pose we've been working on. We're doing it from here. So I'm going to turn. We're going to come to that Tadasana, push down into our feet. Hands to hips. Let's bend that right knee. Reaching down, grab that foot with your right hand. Left hand can come to the wall for support or to your hip. Today's less about the balance and more about the opening. Then move that knee and thigh back so you're lining up. Both hands may come, helping to square, reminding you to tuck your tailbone slightly. Exhale, gently release that foot, hold it up. Activate that hamstring, feel that walnut pit in the back of your hamstring, and exhale to release. Coming around to the other side, walking out your legs, coming to your Tadasana, hands to hips, lifting that left leg, coming through, taking the breaths, hand to foot, and again, less about the balance, more about the space to work in. Bring that knee in line with that thigh. Tucking our tailbone. Just breathe. Move that knee back, move it forward. When you're ready, releasing that left foot, but keeping it up, activating that hamstring. And release. Coming back to the front of your mat. You move. Inhale and reach up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to lengthen. Plant your hands, stepping back. Exhale. Coming down through chaturanga, all the way to the mat. Inhale. To big cobra. Exhale, nose to mat. And coming through table. Just walking your hands back to sit on your heels. So now we're coming to the main part of class. This first version, we're going to do a half on each side. We're going to do a half. And then the second part, second time, we're going to do the full. So, setting yourself up, grab your bolster, blanket if you're still using one, line them up. And now for this first one, we're going to have the right leg tucked back in Virasana, left leg's going to be forward. So the blanket's going to come more under that left sits bone. Settle yourself in, flatten that calf, adjust that right foot. Hands come to your sides, tuck that tailbone as you begin to lay back. Arms can be in Joshua tree arms, straight overhead. Arms crossed like you're staring, gazing at the moon. Beautiful summer evening. Or just down to your sides in a Shavasana type. Then bring your attention to your hips. Squaring your hips with your torso. Adjust the blanket if need be. So it's supporting only the left. Then notice your right foot and push down into that right foot. You can also push into the heel of your left. to keep the lift even. Get that length in your spine, in your tailbone, and settle back in. Right knee may be flat on the mat, maybe lifting slightly, maybe lifting a lot. It's okay. It's all good. And then just come to relax. Eyes can close. As you begin to relax into the pose, find that length from your rib tips to your knee. Find that lengthening. Bringing your hands alongside, using your hands to lift yourself up. Leaning over to the left side, bring that right foot straight. Come back, readjust your blanket, and moving to the other side. Sitting the blanket under the right hip, bringing that left leg back. Again, flatten that thigh if need be. Sitting, adjusting. Adjust the top of that foot. Now lift, push down into your hands to lift that tailbone. And gently lay back. The side may be more open, maybe not, maybe much more uncomfortable. Let's see if you can keep that tilt in the pelvic, square hips, firm belly. Then reach from your rib points through your knee, trying to find length and peace. Pushing, putting pressure on the top of that left foot into that right heel. As appropriate. Trying to find your happy place. For me, this side has no happy place. I just pray the clock moves fast so I can escape. I'm sure there's many of you that feel the same way. And then there's the others who are getting ready to take a nap. Pushing your forearms down into the earth, sitting up. Sitting over to that right side, stretch that left leg out. Set your blanket off to the side. Gently looking at your feet. Noticing them, how bright pink they are and how happy they are. Moving on, going to the full version and completely yogi's choice. You can do this with both legs, both feet tucked, or again, if you want to do one leg and then do the other side, I'll let you know when we're about halfway so that you can adjust yourself. Make your adjustment, come up, switch legs. We don't want to be here for 20 minutes. So, we're coming to lay back, using both hands, lift those hips, push down into the tops of those feet, and slay back. Trying to find some semblance of comfort. Finding that length to the front of your body. Tucking that tailbone. Lifting Preparing to switch if you're doing one side. Always come up and adjust. Something's just not feeling right. Get that big tug in that tailbone. And slowly walking yourself up. Now, of course, if you're comfortable, feel free to stay there as long as you like. If you'd like to take a nap, feel free. For me, that is not my happy place. Oh. Generally, when that class is in person, there's a lot of grumbling, a lot of comments about how long the clock is taking. I assure you, this is not my happy place. Ooh, step those feet forward, walk your hands back, and come to a forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, walk your hands back out, step your feet back, knees drop to the earth, and come to sit. Now grabbing your blanket, coming into some closing poses. Sit over to the side, bring your feet forward, and if you use a blanket, settling your hips up on the edge and bringing the roots of the palms of your feet together, reaching those knees away, making clothing adjustments if necessary, and just bending to where it feels right for you. Finding that length in your back. It's more about finding the opening here, but letting your legs relax. Releasing the bind, walking your hands back. Bringing your feet down on the earth. Palms forward. Slowly coming down. Coming right to your Shavasana. If there's a pose that you feel in the need, feel free, my friends. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as it feels right for you. Bringing your legs straight on the mat. Bringing movement to your fingers, to your toes. Bringing your arms up overhead, reaching along through one side of your body. Reaching along through the other side. And taking a full body stretch. Bring your knees into your belly. Gently rock. Giving your low back a nice back rub. And coming to find your way up to a comfortable seat. Sitting for just a moment. Circling back around to our intention. Acknowledging your intention and sending it out to the world. Bringing hands to heart center, bowing chin to chest. May your yoga practice be of benefit to you, and especially through yourselves, a benefit to all others. Namaste. Thank you. Hope to see you again soon.